Isaiah is told by the Lord to take off his burlap and sandals. We are then told that Isaiah obeyed and walked around naked and barefoot. He may or may not have been completely naked, but he was certainly stripped down. The next thing we hear is the Lord saying how his servant Isaiah had been walking around naked and barefoot for the last 3 years, and he explains what that was all about. Did you catch what happened between the two verses? Isaiah spent 3 years walking around barefoot and naked without knowing why. The explanation is given after 3 years pass. He didn't know why, but he obeyed. What would have had to have been the attitude to be able to do that? I would think he'd have to not care about what other people thought. If he didn't understand, they certainly couldn't. He had to do it without offering explanation, without justifying his actions. God had a reason, whatever it was, and that had to be enough. Do you believe that God has a plan, and it's not for your harm, but to work out for your good? Can you let that be enough, without demanding from God to know why, or how it's all going to work out, or what his purposes are? The people are warned of the trouble coming from the great oppressor, but in the next chapter, we learn about how God will destroy the oppressors for all their oppression. Babylon the Great will fall. It's reminiscent of Revelation 18. God's intentions are always good. Babylon has to fall, so its idols will be broken. Salvation only comes from one name. Idols being crushed and burnt and destroyed are necessary. So people don't rely on a false savior who will never be able to save. The Lord will judge the house of the Lord and will remove idols with violence if necessary. We want him to. Threshing is needed at times for God's people. We want to be winnowed out and all the chaff to blow away. We want to remain as his alone.